This video is all about gelling, and there's two focuses here. Number one, I want you to understand how gelling your lights can take your image from ordinary to extraordinary in any scene. And number two, I want to give you an intuitive framework to understand what the gel is going to do to a scene without actually having to test it out and try it. Let's get into it. Hello, my friends. My name is Pi. Welcome to another MagMod tutorial and welcome to Laguna Beach. Let's get straight into this. I'm gonna walk you through our setup, what we're about to do. We're gonna start with the gear first, but I do wanna make introductions. So this is our lovely couple, Varsha and Chris. They're actually my clients that were cool enough to come out and do this for us. So thank you guys for being here. We have Veronica, and she is gonna be holding the Profoto B10. So for this, the first thing you're gonna need is obviously an off-camera flash. We're gonna be using the Profoto B10 because we're gonna modify it and we're gonna put a gel on. So whenever you're doing that and you're working in kind of bright outdoor conditions like right now, it's still 3-4 hours before sunset, we need a lot of power. So this is a 500 watt-second strobe. You don't need to be using Profoto, but if you're using something like say 8200s, make sure that you have two of them. Now let's talk about the gear. Of course, I'm holding the circular gels, and that means that I'm gonna be using the MagBox Pro. So we'll be using the MagBox Pro 24 Octa, and I'm gonna go ahead and set this guy up right now. That's kind of a big deal if you've done photography for a while. It was quick, right? That's what I'm saying. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and just zip on the diffuser, and we're gonna slide it all the way down. There we go. Before I actually start modifying, what I wanna do is take a test shot where I'm gonna just shoot natural light so we have something to compare against. Then we're gonna add flash, and then I'm gonna show you how to modify that flash. So let's do that now. Why don't you hold these gels for a minute? And Veronica, I'm gonna have you actually step out of the scene first because I wanna show you the camera setup and get a natural light image so we have something to kind of compare against. So right now, my Canon R5 is set up just on a tripod. You don't need to be on a tripod. I just want it on there for comparison purposes. So that way we can compare the exact same image across the set. For the shot, I'm gonna have Varsha and Chris look at each other. I'm at 1/200 f/14 and ISO 400, just again, so I'm just gonna vary ISO. I'm not gonna kind of adjust anything else. This is the natural light image right here with them looking at each other, and now you see the overall composition. The first thing when gelling is we kind of need to underexpose a bit so that we can get more detail, well, we need more of a sky, right? It can't just be like bright white or even like there's not a lot of details in the clouds. So what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna adjust the exposure down, just going to like say low ISO, 1/200 of a second and f/14, and we're gonna get this shot. So why don't we do just a shot with natural flash, meaning like flash that's not modified with a gel. So I'm gonna have Veronica step in and we're gonna fire that flash off right onto them here. Now we have this dramatic image, but of course you go, well, Veronica's still in the shot, right? Again, another benefit of having this on a tripod is, well, Veronica come out, I can do a plate shot now. I'm just gonna turn off the remote so it doesn't fire. And now I have a very easy plate shot that I can just layer, and in Photoshop, it's 10 seconds to mask out Veronica and the light. So comparing this now, this was our natural light image. This is the underexposed image where now we have tons of detail in the shadows and the scenes look so cool. Now let's modify the color. I have 3 gels that I love to use when it comes to modifying kind of this environmental color. It's a green, an orange, and a blue. I'm gonna show you all 3 of these, and we're gonna start with the orange. These gels I'm working with, by the way, is part of the corrective color kit. And along the way, I'm gonna give you an intuitive way of thinking about how they work. And what we'll do is we'll use the half colors. So we're gonna use the half CTO or the half orange. We'll use the half blue, the half green. One of the reasons, again, we want a 500 watt-second strobe is once we add a gel, it's gonna lower the power output. So the softbox already did that, the gel's gonna do the same thing. Now you don't need to undo the diffuser. The MagMod team has thought of everything. So you just unzip it, you pop in your gel, snap it in place, and you are good to go. Zip that guy up. Let's go ahead and have you pop back into that spot. We're gonna go full power now again. And you'll see a little bit of light reduction. So here's the intuitive part of understanding what this light is gonna do. Right now we put an orange gel onto the light. I'm gonna take the shot. They're looking at each other, boom. I've currently left my white balance where it was when we started. I left it at 6,000 Kelvin, right? What we just did is we put orange light onto our subjects. So what would we do if we're adding orange light, if we're warming up our subjects, then what would we do in like, say, editing to correct for that? Well, we would cool down the image. We'd cool it down by bringing the temperature down, right? And that's exactly what we're gonna do in camera. When we added a CTO gel or a half CTO, we made the light orange. When we put an orange light onto our subjects, we had to correct for that by cooling it down, right? Because we add blue, because we cool it down, it shifts the entire scene blue, and then our subjects look like they're lit by a normal color light, because we're compensating for that. And that's the trick. See, if we switch to, say, a green gel, so if I put green light onto my subjects, what would you do in the editing room? Well, when something is tinted green, then we would typically add magenta to it, right? You're gonna do the same thing here, but we're gonna do it in camera. So if I add green to them, and then I shift magenta to compensate for that green color, the entire scene goes purple. Same thing with a blue. If I put a blue gel into that and I put blue light on them, what do you have to do? You have to warm it up, right? And in warming it up, the entire scene is gonna get warm, and they're gonna be the right color based on that compensation. Now look at what we did with this scene. So here's the natural light image, and then at the same Kelvin, here's the image that was shot underexposed with flash. That's already a huge change. But then look at the image just shot with flash with the 24 Pro Octa, and then once we start adding gels to it to modify the scene, each gel completely changes the overall look and the light within a scene, and that gives you a lot of creative control to play. I'm hoping that this kind of framework of understanding what these gels are doing is also intuitive enough for you that you can walk away and go, okay, if I put a gel that's blue on there, I know exactly what that's gonna do, because I have to compensate by warming up my subject, which is gonna warm the entire scene. I'm gonna get orange. I hope y'all enjoy the tutorial. We're gonna link up all the gear that we use in the description of the video. And if you guys have comments, thoughts, what you guys would like to learn next time, comment on the video. I read all of your guys' thoughts and I get a lot of my ideas from them, so it really helps out a lot. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.